I want to talk about 3 mistakes I made that cost me over £80,000 and 4 years of my career. Looking back, they were completely avoidable. There weren't some complex high-level blunders. They were the common quiet traps that thousands of us fall into every year. They are the kind of regrets that build up slowly, leaving you feeling stuck and underpaid. In this video, I'm going to get painfully honest about where I went wrong. I won't just tell you what the mistakes were. I'm going to share the personal stories, the financial hit, and most importantly, the hard-won lessons, so you can sidestep the regrets that cost me so much. Because if I've learned something, then you don't have to learn everything the hard way. So my first big regret is the one that still makes my stomach do a little flip. It's the fact that I never ever negotiated my salary. For the first 2 real jobs in my career, I just took the first number they offered. Why? A lovely cocktail of fear and cluelessness. I was terrified that they would just pull the offer. I can still picture getting my first corporate job offer. The salary they quoted was more money than I had ever seen in one place. I was thrilled. The idea of asking for more just felt wrong, even greedy. So I blurted out yes on the spot. What I didn't get was that my first yes wasn't a one-time thing. It was a decision that would compound negatively for years. And here's where the math gets really painful. That first salary is the foundation for all your future raises, which are almost always a percentage of what you currently make. Let's say I could have just negotiated for 5 grand more. A 3% raise on the salary I accepted is a lot less than a 3% raise on the salary I should have had. Over a lifetime, economists figure that by not negotiating the first salary, you could be leaving nearly £500,000 on the table. When I first read this, I felt physically ill. My fear didn't just cost me a few grand, it potentially rerouted my entire financial future. And I'm not special here. Surveys show a staggering 58% of professionals regret not negotiating their starting salary. And the fear that holds us back is mostly in our heads. One study found that 75% of people who actually asked for a raise got one. The real risk isn't asking, it's saying nothing. So what's the actual takeaway? What do I wish I knew? Well, first, always go in ready to negotiate. Before you even get to the offer, you need to know your numbers, research the salary, benchmark for your role, experience, and city. Using sites like PayScale, Glassdoor, and LinkedIn, get a data-driven range. Second, when the offer lands, don't say yes right away. Thank them. Tell them how excited you are about the role and ask for a day to look over the whole package. This gives you a moment to take the emotions out of it and plan your counter offer. Third, when you make your counter offer, frame it around your value, not just your wants. You can say something like, "Thank you again, I'm incredibly excited about this opportunity. Based on my research for this kind of role and my experience is X and Y, I was targeting a salary closer to," then put your number there. "Is there any flexibility on the base compensation?" This isn't being difficult, it's being a professional. It's you advocating for your value. Don't let 5 minutes of an awkward chat cost you £1 million. By the way, if you're getting something out of this and want more advice on how to build a career you won't regret, take a second to hit that subscribe button. It's free and it's ensure you won't miss what's coming up. My second major regret was a slow burn, staying in the wrong job for way too long. I spent 2 years in a role that made me miserable. The culture was toxic, the work left me feeling empty, and my relationship with my manager was a mess. I lived in a state of perpetual Sunday night dread. I could literally feel my energy and creativity just shriveling up. And still I stayed. But why? For the same reason most of us do. I got comfortable with being uncomfortable. I was scared of the unknown. The job paid the bills, it was stable, and the idea of revamping my resume and going through interviews just felt exhausting. This fear of change is a powerful trap that keeps you sticking with a bad situation just because it's the situation we know. I would tell myself lies like, oh, it's not that bad, or maybe things will get better after this quarter. I was waiting for someone else to fix it, but here's the thing. Nobody's coming to reinvent your career for you. That's your job. Those 2 years were a period of total stagnation. I wasn't learning new skills. My professional network was dying because I had zero energy for it, and my confidence hit rock bottom. This is an incredibly common story. Studies have found that 58% of workers regret staying at a job for too long. We tend to overestimate the risk of leaving and widely underestimate the real cost of staying. That cost isn't just about your mood, it's about your career entire trajectory. These days, switching jobs is often the fastest way to get a big pay bump and learn new things. But staying put out of fear, you risk getting pigeonholed, stuck as an expert in one tiny thing while the world moves on without you. The lesson is that you have to take control of your own career path. What I wish I had known is that you need to give yourself regular career checkups. Ask yourself honestly, am I learning? Am I challenged? Am I happy here? If the answers are consistently no, it's time to make a plan. That doesn't mean you have to rage quit tomorrow, but it does mean you start moving. Polish up your resume, casually scroll through job boards to see what's out there. Ping one person in your network each week for a quick chat. Give yourself a real deadlines, say 3 to 6 months, to actively find something better. Taking these little steps shifts your whole mindset from passive to active and empowered. You start making things happen for you. Don't let fear change you to a job that's draining your soul, because you can never get that time back. My third huge regret was letting my professional network turn into a ghost town while also forgetting to invest in myself. When I was settled in a job, even the miserable one, I just stopped trying. I left my connections from old jobs fade. I blew off industry events. I wasn't learning anything new. I made the classical mistake of thinking my job was my career. And then, of course, the music stopped. The company restructured and my stable job disappeared. Suddenly, I was on the outside and I realized with a jolt that I had nowhere to turn. I hadn't invested in those relationships when I didn't need anything. So showing up out of the blue to ask for help felt slimy and transactional. I had forgotten the golden rule. As many as 85% of all jobs are filled through networking, and I had let my most powerful career tool rust over. At the same time, I had a rude awakening about my skills. I was so buried in the daily grind that I wasn't looking up at where my industry was going. The skill that was certainly in high demand has passed me by. The pace of change isn't slowing down, and if you are not constantly learning, you are actively falling behind. My job search took months longer than it needed to, all because I was starting from zero, rebuilding my network and scrambling to learn skills that would make me relevant again. So what's the lesson? Your career is not your job title. Your career is the sum of your skills, your experience, and your network. You have to manage it, especially when you are happy and comfortable. So first, make networking a habit, not a panic button. Spend 30 minutes a week on LinkedIn. Congratulate people on their wins. Share an interesting article. Just stay on the radar. You build a network by putting in value over time, not by trying to make withdrawal when your account is empty. Second, be a lifelong learner. Set aside a few hours every month for your own development. It could be an online course, a webinar, or just reading up on the latest trends in your field. Or maybe watch my fantastic videos regularly. This doesn't just make you better at your current job, it makes you infinitely more marketable for your next role. So let's sum up. When I look back, these three regrets, not negotiating, staying too long, and having a ghost network, all boil down to one thing. I was a passenger in my own career. I let things happen to me instead of taking the wheel. These mistakes cost me tons of money and years of frustration, but the good news is they all are completely avoidable. You can learn from my blunders. You have the power to fight for your worth, to find a work environment that fuels you, and to build a career that's ready for your future. Don't wait for regret to be your teacher. Start today. Go research the salary, tidy up your LinkedIn profile, sign up for the courses. Just take one small proactive step, and that's it. What's the biggest career mistake you ever made, or the best lesson you've learned? Drop it in the comment section below. Honestly, reading through our shared experience is one of the best ways for all of us to learn and grow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.